Thank you, Nice. She can do more than pitch.
All right, we are joined by Texas Tech head coach Gerry Glasco and players NiJaree, Canady, Demi, and Alexa Langeliers. A reminder to please silence your cell phones and then give your name and media affiliation when you get the mic to ask a question. No recording with your cell phone. To get video of the press conference is allowed. Make sure to use the raise hand function when you're on Zoom to ask a question. We'll start with an opening statement from Coach Glasco and then go to questions for everybody. So if you have an opening statement, feel free.
We're just super thrilled, super excited to be here and to be a part of this. The crowds, the excitement and the enthusiasm, the atmosphere of the games has just been unreal, unbelievable. I thought the atmosphere in the game last night was just absolutely amazing. And, you know, somebody asked me if the crowd noise bothered me, and I said all I noticed it was loud. But I didn't think one time about it being against us or for us. I didn't think that had any effect on the game at all. Other than I thought it created a great atmosphere for a big-time playoff game to have that many people and that bigger crowd. So we're super excited. We're as far as the final series, I think we're really healthy going into the series. I think we're the healthiest we've been all season. I think we're the most confident we've been all season, and I look forward to seeing the girls go out and play the best ball of the season.
Okay, we'll start front row left with Eli.
Letterman, ESPN. Alexa, in the backdrop of everything last night, there was obviously a lot of love here. Sam Landry on the other end, all those things. And I'm curious with Coach Glasco, you followed him to come here. What makes this guy the kind of coach that the players want to play for, that want to follow, that want to be a part of his program?
Sorry. In my opinion, Gerry's always just been genuine. Like, you're not going to see a lot of, like, the two different sides of him. I feel like he's always been upfront with you about everything, academics, athletics, real life. Like, he's very honest about stuff, and he's not going to steer you one way or the other. And I've always wanted that in a coach, so.
Okay, we'll go front row left again to Jake.
Gerry, there was a report yesterday that NiJaree's been playing on a torn hamstring. Can you confirm that, elaborate on it? And if it is the case, NiJaree, how have you managed playing through the injury?
I've never known exactly because I'm not. I just know it was a really serious injury that was going to take 8 or 9 weeks to get over completely. I was actually told soft tissue injury, and I think I assumed it was the leg or the hamstring, or but I really didn't know. Other than the doctors said that, and I talked personally to the doctors because I wanted to be sure what we were doing, or to a lead trainer. And I remember him saying that the pitching motion, because it was on her left leg, not her right leg, it wouldn't do further damage to go ahead and pitch. But if it had been on the right leg, he would have to shut her down. And so it was that close. It was really we were walking on pins and needles for about a month. There was about a month there where, even like the South Carolina Friday night game, we thought she was going to start, and it didn't feel right, and we had to not start on Friday. And we eliminated all bullpens during the middle of the week, and we eliminated hitting, like actual batting practice. She was taking almost none for a little over a month period. We didn't talk a lot about it, but it was a significant setback, I think, in her offensive part of her game. But in her pitching part, when you realize as a coach how effective she was every weekend and not going through the normal bullpen procedures or the really hard, bullpens where you work on your spin, you work on your location that you normally would do, and then still have the results that she did to show what a tremendous competitor and what a tremendous talent she was. But yeah, it was a major, really, really serious soft tissue injury, the way I understood it.
NiJaree, when did this happen, and how has it affected you, and how have you managed playing through it?
Yeah, it happened in preseason, and honestly, I think the results said it was worse than it was. Like, the paper said it was worse than it was. I think it was okay.
So it's overblown a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay, we go front row right to David.
David Collier, ABC Lubbock. For Coach and NiJaree, we'll start with you, Coach. You spoke about it some last night, but your relationship with, can you elaborate on your relationship with Mike White? And then for NiJaree, what can you learn from your previous meetings with Texas going into this championship series?
Coach White, I've known Coach White for a long time because, you know, he's been a significant coach at Oregon, and so I was trying to think I guess I've known him probably since I started coaching at Georgia in 2008, 2009, and then just, you know, a tremendous respect for Coach White. I don't think he's ever lost a regional. What he's done in the postseason, everywhere he goes, he wins. He's extremely intelligent. He's a very highly successful coach, but he's also he gets a lot of his players and he really develops them. And then I got to know him better when Gerry Ann played for him at Oregon. She went out there to play for him and Jimmy Colitis, Chelsea Spencer. They had a great staff and a great team. She went out there in 2015 and 16 seasons. And, you know, I didn't get to go to very many games, but I watched every game. And I didn't really get to know him because I don't know that I even talked to him maybe over one time or two times in 2 years. But I got to go out there on senior day and I got to go out there on the super regional and watch those games. And, you know, I just know his teams always win. They win. And so then when he came to Texas, I made a point to play there every year. I've taken my team from Louisiana over there every year to Austin. And this year we went ahead. We went there and played. He was good enough. When I got the job, the schedule, it was late, and I wanted to get really hard series, and I was having trouble getting games, and I was able to pick up a series with him and Texas A&M there in the preseason. So, you know, I know what everybody else knows. He's a winner. He always does well in the postseason, and I'm super happy for him to get in this series. I think this is third series in 4 years or something ridiculous like that. And, you know, I think I thought about last night, you know, if Gerry Ann was here and she could talk, I don't know if she'd root for me or White because she loved Whitey. And she used to compare us a lot. She'd say, Daddy coaches just like you. He just got more colorful vocabulary. And she probably thought he's a little smarter than I am. But anyway, I'm really looking forward to getting to compete. When we play at Texas, we've always had really good competitive games. I've seen him get tossed once, and he saw me get tossed once in that series. We've always had fun with that, and hopefully we don't do that and we act better here. But we'll get after it in this series. It'll be fun.
Okay, we go front row loud, Brady.
Brady Vernon, Softball America. Just, Alexa, how have you kind of seen the infield grow defensively, especially on the left side with the two freshmen?
I think they've grown tremendously. I mean, starting the season, I feel like there's a lot of miscues, but I mean, they just got really tough mentally and they just bared down. And I don't think you'll see a better left side of the infield, in my opinion.
Again, for NiJaree, the experience you have against Texas and how you can take from that going into this series.
Yeah, they're a really good offensive team. So just knowing, and obviously they see me in the preseason, but just knowing we're gonna have to change things up, keep the hitters off balance. I think that's something Coach Terra is really good at too. Just knowing what to throw batters and how we can attack their weaknesses, but also playing to my strengths.
Okay, we go second row right.
Ty Kaplan with the Daily Toreador. Demi, obviously sticking around with this. You, Reagan, and Logan all stuck around. How have you celebrated with them? And then for Alexa, the sisterhood that you kind of built with the other girls from Louisiana, how has that been? Obviously watching Lauren and Maya get that walk-off yesterday.
Yeah, I think for me, Reagan and Logan, it's been very special just because we trusted in Coach Glasco and we stuck with it. But I think the meaning more is just with my teammates, and without NiJaree, we wouldn't be here. Without the infield, we wouldn't be here. And without the offense we have, we wouldn't be here. So I think just as a team, it's been pretty awesome.
I think the sisterhood from Louisiana is just really something special, and being able to expand that into the sisterhood we have now is just amazing. And just seeing the success Lauren and Maya have had this tournament is just awesome. They deserve it, and I love them.
Okay, we'll go second row left.
Thomas Jones, Austin American-Statesman. Demi and Alexa, the Texas players talked about the challenges of facing NiJaree. For you guys, Kavon had a lot of success against you on that first game. What was she doing particularly well? What did y'all learn from that game at the plate? And then how do you change your approach?
I think for me, it's she went hard up a lot that game, and I think just being able to make an adjustment faster of getting on top of that ball will force her to throw more of that drop ball that she has and the off speed. And I think if we can make her a little bit more uncomfortable this time around, we'll be more successful.
I was unable to play the first 2 games we played since I was injured, but have seen her in the past since last year, the 3-game series. I think with her, you have to just make adjustments really fast.
Okay, we'll stay second row left. Kirk.
Gerry, did you bring any other pitchers here to Oklahoma City? I was just curious.
What do you ask me? Oh, you got pictures.
Yeah, plural.
Yeah, we do. They're dying to go, and it's been they've been great. The girls they've been working in the bullpen. Of course, I think they understand the situation, and they obviously are playing with an extremely talented, generational type talent. And Chloe's amazing. She's got tremendous control, and when we put her in, she's going to be sharp. And she's working in the bullpen. Like, she was even sore yesterday just from throwing so much the last few days because she's been down in the bullpen throwing and just staying ready in case something freaky happened. We had an ankle turn or a ball hit NiJaree or anything that would suddenly occur, that she's got to be ready. And so I thought it was interesting. She said, like, her shoulder was sore from throwing so much. Not injury-wise, just tight, and she's ready. When she gets her shot, Chloe will be magnificent, and we're gonna need more than NiJaree in this 3-game series, most likely.
You don't think she could pitch 3 more games?
I think she could do anything right now. She's kind of like Superman out there in the circle. But I suspect in this 3-game series we'll end up having to go to more than one pitcher, obviously.
Okay, we'll stay second row left.
Cedric Golden, Austin American-Statesman. Demi, Oklahoma terrorized the Big 12, terrorized Texas, terrorized Tech for many years, and then those teams knock OU out of this College World Series. How do you guys kind of refocus and know that it's not over yet? I mean, you beat OU, but there's still some work to be done.
I think the way we refocus is just staying to the game and staying to what we know and what we love to do. I think the job's not done yet, and I think we all know that.
Okay, we will go next, second row right.
Ryan Campos, CBS Lubbock. This is for all the players. Just talk about the moment being 2 wins away from a national championship. It's 2 teams from the Lone Star State, and it's also 2 teams trying to win their first, national championship on the diamond as well.
I think it's going to be interesting. I think the fact that it's like a Texas national championship is going to be a lot of talk around this, and I think it's going to be tough. We both want to win, and we're the first team to not have been in this situation before. They've been in this situation before, and obviously they haven't come out on top, and I know that leaves a bitter taste in their mouth, but we're both going to be fighting for it.
Yeah, I still don't think the moment is fully set in for me yet. Just to be able to, again, to say that we're 2 games away, I feel like it's just amazing. And yeah, it honestly still hasn't set in for me yet.
Okay, we go third row on the left.
Pete Christie from KCBD in Lubbock. Coach, being this intra-state championship, what does this mean for the program's future for Texas Tech, and then just softball in the big state of Texas?
I think that this is obviously it's really good for Texas, and it's really good for the youth and the young women all over the state. They're going to be inspired by this, You know, I think you see that. You know, you saw that when Cat Osterman was pitching for Texas. You saw left-handed. All of a sudden, 5 years later, there's left-handed pitchers everywhere. Everybody was a left-handed softball player was a pitcher, and it inspired so many people. And I think there's no doubt the success of Texas and the success of Texas Tech and A&M had a really good year. No doubt that you know, that 9 and 10-year-old girls all over the state, 11, 12-year-old girls. There's no doubt that little leagues are filled up right now, and seeing the effects of having really good college softball teams in the state.
Okay, we go third row right in the corner, Justin.
Justin McLeod from D1 Softball. Alexa, I saw a TV interview you gave yesterday, I think it was, where you mentioned you didn't think you'd be here. I'm curious for you. You guys are winning and you're playing well, but this is your first time on this stage. How have you managed to balance those two things this week, get to enjoy the experience while also making sure you're focused on winning ball games?
I think we really soak in the moment more of like after the games and like on the days we've had off of like really just being here. And I think once it's time to like really lock in on game days and stuff, we kind of just realize like, hey, this is still just another game, and like we've done this all season long. We've fought and we've competed, and I think that's just really helped.
Okay, we go front row left, Brady.
Brady Brennan, Softball America. Just Gerry, Maya has really good numbers against Tegan, and how big is her speed going to play in this kind of series?
When she gets on base, our team's a whole different level of team. And the amazing thing to me is, you know, we got through these 3 games with her, I think, getting on base 1 time. If you'd have told me before we got here we could win 3 games and Maya only get on base 1 time, albeit that was a really important at bat yesterday, I would have probably thought it would be impossible. And I think the law of averages is in our favor, because that kid, she's as consistent can be. If you look over her 3-year career, she's just been a tremendous player for us, and she's a big game player. It's not the stage, it's not the environment, because you go back to the Texas A&M game, you go back to the Texas game early in the year, she's a big game player. I just think that, you know, so far it's a very limited amount of at-bats. It's a very small sample size, and I think I'm expecting her to come out huge in this next series. And I want her to, because I want people to see how good she is. I think I've said all year I think she's the best center fielder and leadoff hitter in the country, the best defensive center fielder in the country, and I want her to show that. And so far, you know, I don't think she's had she hasn't had the performance that shows how good she is, and I want her to show that before we leave here.
Okay, we'll go third row right.
Nathan Geese, Lubbock Avalanche Journal. Demi, you have the most experience in this Texas rivalry, being the longest tenured Red Raiders. Being in this spot and playing for a championship, does that add a little extra something that the rivalry's still kind of going, even though you're not conference mates anymore?
I don't think I've ever beat Texas, actually. So I think this series is going to be pretty cool, because I think this team is a lot different than the other teams I've had in the past. So I think with our offense and our defense, I think we can get the job done.
Okay, Jake, go ahead.
Yeah, Jake Trotter, ESPN. Gerry, big picture, what has NiJaree meant for Texas Tech with the publicity surrounding her NIL deal? What does it mean for college softball going forward? And then what does it say about her that she has delivered on all the expectations that came with her?
Yeah, I don't think you can put a value on what she's meant to Texas Tech. When you think of the magnitude of what she brought to our program in publicity, and I remember the week after we announced that she was coming last year, it was something, someone told me it was like 700,000 Associated Press articles had come out where you're talking about, and in those articles, in those little 700,000 clips, it was, you know, you're mentioning Stanford, Texas Tech, and NiJaree Canady and softball, all in those little articles. And what's the value of something like that? I don't know. And then to deliver, you know, and she's delivered over and over and over. And she kept, even early in the season when we weren't ready yet, you know, it takes a while. It takes a long time to develop championship mentality and championship championship culture. While we were growing as a team behind her and around her, she was just in that circle a rock. And so you look back at the 0-0 game to Mississippi State, and then you look at the Texas game, we got a 1-0 lead, and they tied up 1-1. We go to the 8th or 9th inning, and we lost 2-1. NiJaree's in there just doing her job, but that gives us a chance, even though we didn't hit, but it gives us a chance to feel those at-bats and my players to realize, like, we got to grow. And so the value of that, I don't know how you put it, but we wouldn't be here without it, obviously. And then I think what it more speaks to is her leadership and her character. She's a great pitcher. Everybody sees that. When you see her pitch in the circle, even a casual softball fan recognizes the greatness of that. But I think when you look at how she endured injury, she endured a young team around her or a new team around her, and with a new coaching staff, and went through with a new pitching coach, and then she's got a new hitting coach working with her on her hitting. There's just total adjustments, but throughout all that, no matter what, she just was rock solid in the circle for us and provided us with that solid stone cold assassin out there in the circle that allowed us to grow and become a really good softball team at the end of the year. And I think it even surprised us.
NiJaree, just real quick, how have you managed this experience? What's it been like for you? And what has this run been like, leading a program to a place it's never been before?
Yeah, honestly, this year has been hard, just for me personally, and honestly, this team, I feel like we had a lot of road bumps, and this was not an easy ride. We were joking about on the bus, if you would have asked us, like earlier in the year and earlier in preseason, if we would be 2 games away from hoisting a national championship trophy, we would probably laugh. We took some hard losses early on, but just honestly, I feel like we've just grown as a team, and a part of the road getting here is just peaking at the right time, and I feel like we're finally just catching our step, and we're getting to know each other on the field, and I feel like that we're just playing for each other right now.
All right, that'll wrap things up for Texas Tech. Thank you.
Sorry, Nate.